sector is clear.
Give us everything we got! All wings!
And shit, but she loved Big Trouble in Little China. She was like, that shit was awesome. And I was like, yep. And then I never got to show her Total Recall because I knew she wouldn't be down with that shit. Total Recall is like balls to the wall insane. It's from the guy that made RoboCop. It's got Arnold in it, and it's fucking nuts, dude. That's like one of the greatest Arnold classics there is. Like, it's up there with like Terminator and fucking Commando and shit, and Predator. Like, and it's weird because it doesn't get the love of those movies, but it did back in the day when it came out. Like, people, like, I remember I was like a little kid, right? And there used to be this shit called the Preview Channel, right? And they would just show you previews of movies while it told you the TV guide what was going to come on TV, because there wasn't like internet TV. It was just like programmed shit, and you had to wait to see what came on.
Yep, here we got it. Total Recall.
Yeah, and I was sitting there, and the preview came on for Total Recall, and my head exploded. Because I was like, what the fuck? Like, fucking in the preview, this motherfucker has like on a fucking robot head and shit, and it's some of the coolest special effects I've ever seen in my life. And then he's like fucking running through like fucking an X-ray wall where you can see through him and shit, and he's got like this fucking future gun, and he's like blowing people away. And I was like, damn, I gotta see that. That was like 6 or 7 years old. It was like a brand new movie.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Out of all the movies ever made, which one do you think's the best action movie you ever watched? Like, ever seen, ever?
Action? That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I would say that my favorite American one of just action, I couldn't even tell you, man. I have to really think about that.
Well, everybody says Terminator 2.
Well, Terminator 2 is like one of the best. It's just so good. It's the last of the 80s action movies that spilled over into the 90s. It's the last one. It was the end of an era, and it was fucking a masterpiece. So, like, I understand why that's, you know, what it is. But if you had to go with foreign movies, Hard Boiled, buddy. You ever heard of that one or seen it?
No.
Hard Boiled will blow your fucking socks off, son. Like, when me and my brother were into fucking like action, kung fu, and all that kind of shit back in the day, we loved that shit. And one day we rented some fucking movie. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. It was fucking Hard Boiled. And the preview for Hard Boiled was on that shit. And we were like, we're watching that shit, and we got it, and we were not disappointed at all. That shit is fucking insane. It's like that shit is what things like The Matrix were ripping off. Like, American action movies were just some guy shoots a bunch of guys. Like Arnold, he sprays a bunch of motherfuckers with a machine gun. No, Hard Boiled was like, motherfuckers are like sliding down the fucking rail of a staircase, spraying Uzis and shit. But they're doing it for real. Like, there's just like kung fu masters doing crazy shit for a movie. Like, motherfuckers doing, like, the craziest stunts you ever saw in your life. Like, jumping, like, 50 feet in the air with a motorcycle, and then the motorcycle explodes as they jump off of it. And it really happens. Like, Chow Yun Fat, you know that guy?
No.
Okay. You ever seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
No.
Okay, fuck. Anyway, well, he's, like, a huge star. He was a big star here, too. He's from China. That motherfucker almost got blown up. Like, they put too much explosives in this building they blew up, and this motherfucker basically got blown up, like, making the movie. Like, the fucking movie, that movie is nuts, dude. You'd be like, what? There's like this fucking shootout in a hospital, where it's one shot, like one take, where these motherfuckers are like jumping through all these windows, spraying fucking bullets at each other and shit, doing kung fu and all this crap, and it doesn't stop for like several minutes. Like, they had to choreograph that shit for like months before they did it. Months. It's one of those milestones of action. So check that one out if you ever get the chance. 'Cause that's a goddamn masterpiece. Look up the preview of that shit. That'll blow your mind.
I'll have to check into it.
Well, fuckers. Oh man, just thinking about that movie. I haven't seen that movie in like so long. It's been decades. It's been like since the 90s since I watched that movie. I watched that movie like 30, 40 times back in the 90s when I was a kid. I was like more hard-boiled. More hard-boiled. More hard-boiled. More. That motherfucker swung in on a zip line from the ceiling, spraying fucking 2 MP5s, busted out a shotgun and started just going to town. Jumping through cars while shooting guns and shit like fucking crazy crap. Blow your mind. I remember when action used to impress me, like back when it was real and practical and not just a bunch of CGI crap. That's one of those movies where it's like, how the fuck did no one get killed making this movie? Maybe somebody did. It is China. Who knows?
Let me tell you one of my favorites that was like I think like in the late '90s. It's called The Crow. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I know The Crow. Yeah, Crow's alright. Like I didn't like it so much back in the day. I liked his other movie, Hard Target. If that's the name of the movie. I think that's wrong. Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire. Same dude. Rapid Fire is like a forgotten action masterpiece of the early 90s. Like the late 80s, early 90s. That one, I like that one, dude. That shit was fucking nuts. Like, it's kind of like what I was just talking about with he's like fucking having to do all kinds of crazy shit. It's Brandon Lee. He's doing fucking kung fu madness. I need to watch that movie again. I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years. I don't know if it will hold up. It's probably really offensive. Because I remember it having to do with New York City, so that's like, New York City's like an offensive place back in the day. Everybody like, you Italian piece of shit wop. And fucking, that's how everybody talks. So like, I imagine it's real. I'm gonna get a beer real quick. I'll be right back.
Come on, game. You were fine just a second ago. Now you're starting to lag.
result
My
is success
God.
thanks to your courage and sacrifice. The Rebel Alliance is honored to have you.
I went off, dude, as Leia. I would just fuck some people up, dude.